Hello everyone, we are now on module 9, which is shear strength of soils. So before we discuss the concept and principles for shear strength of soil, let us try to identify our learning outcomes for this chapter. So basically, at the end of this module, the students are expected to determine the Moore-Coulomb failure criterion, identify the inclination of the plane of the failure due to shear, determine the different types of shear strength tests, understand how the direct shear test is used to determine the shear parameters, understand what a drain direct shear test is, learn about the problems with the direct shear test and why it is used anyway. Learn the procedure for triaxial test, learn about the consolidated, drained, consolidated, undrained, and consolidated, undrained triaxial tests and their differences. Learn about the unconfined compression test for saturated clay. Determine the correlations between the undrained cohesion and the effective overburden pressure. Estimate the shear strength of unsaturated soil samples and understand how to interpret stress path. So basically, shear strength of soil mass is the internal resistance per unit area that the soil mass can offer to resist failure and sliding along any plane inside it. So one must understand the nature of shearing stress, shearing resistance in order to analyze soil stability problems such as bearing capacity, slope stability, and lateral earth pressure on earth retaining structure. So when you talk about shear strength class, meaning to say shear strength is a material's ability to resist forces that can cause the internal structure of the material to slide against itself. In engineering, shear strength is the strength of a material or component against the type or yield or structure failure where the material or component fails in shear. So, shear strength important? Yes, shear strength is very important property, is a very important property of soil. The shear strength of soil can be regarded as its intrinsic capacity to resist failure when forces act on the soil mass. So the strength is a function of the type as well as the physico-chemical makeup of the soil. So it is necessary, shear strength is very important. It is an important parameter to know the property of the soil, to know the characteristic of a soil. So as mentioned, we have to understand the shear strength of a specific soil where we're going to construct our structure, whether horizontal or vertical, because shear strength is related in the analysis of the soil stability problems. We're talking about bearing capacity, the slope stability, and lateral pressure that is acting on earth retaining structure. So basically, shear strength has an important role in the analysis of the stability of a certain soil where we are going to construct a certain structure. So it is necessary for us to identify the shear strength parameters of a certain soil on a certain ground, on a certain layered soil before we construct a certain structure, because the stability of our soil basically has something to do with the shear strength of the soil mass where we are going to construct our structure. So it is important for us to determine such parameters of the shear strength so that we could identify the bearing capacity, the stability of a certain soil. We're going to construct our structure. Maybe it can be a vertical structure, a horizontal structure, because before we construct, we are after with the safety and stability of our structure. So for this chapter, we're going to identify some shear strength parameters. We are going to identify laboratory testing to identify those shear strength parameters, and basically how we're going to analyze problems related to shear strength problems. So we start with a Moore-Coulomb failure criterion. So basically you are familiar with the concept of Moore-Coulomb or the Moore circle basically. So on the Moore circle, as we have studied in our previous learning, in our previous years, we learned that the Moore circle we draw the Mohr circle, we have identified our principal stress, and the principal stresses that is the minor principal stress and the major principal stress. And from that, we have a failure criterion, the one that is the line that is tangent to our Mohr circle, that is our Mohr column failure criterion. So basically, Mohr presented a theory of rupture in materials that contended that a material fails because of critical combination of the normal stress and the shearing stress, and not from either maximum, normal, or shear stress alone. So in soil mechanics, we are trying to in soil mechanics, we are having the functional relationship between the normal stress and the shear stress. And actually that can be expressed as the shear stress is a function of the normal stress. So the shear stress, which is equal to the function of the normal stress, actually that defines our failure envelope. And it defines our curved line on our failure envelope. So in soil mechanics, the shear stress on failure plane is approximately a linear function of the normal stress. So this is the linear function of the shear stress on a failure plane, and that is being expressed as the shear stress is equal to C plus sigma tangent phi. So actually this is the normal stress equal to the cohesion plus the normal stress multiplied to tangent angle of friction. So basically this equation now is the equation for the Mohr column failure criterion. So in a saturated soil, the total normal stress at a point is the sum of the effective stress plus the pore water pressure. Of course, in our previous discussion, we learned the total stress is equal to effective stress plus pore water pressure, or the neutral stress. So the effective stress, sigma prime, is carried by the soil solid. So the Mohr column failure criterion expressed in terms of the effective stress. So if you're going to get the equation for the Mohr column failure criterion expressed in terms of effective stress, this will be our equation. So this is now the equation for our shear strength in terms of the effective stress. So C prime, phi prime are cohesion and angle of friction based on effective stress instead. So of course for C prime, approximately 0 for sand, inorganic silt, and normally consolidated clays. And phi prime is given for some soil. You try to refer from our table in our table 12.1 in our textbook. And we have to take note that if C prime is 0 for normally consolidated clay, for over consolidated clay, the value for C prime is greater than 0. And of course, for phi prime, as mentioned, it just referred to table 12.1 in our textbook. So this one is a figure showing to us our Mohr column failure criterion. So in this figure, we have plotted our failure criterion. So we have this line. This line is our Mohr column failure criterion. So basically, we have plotted the effective normal stress versus our shear stress. And if we're going to, for this illustration, we try to identify if the shear stress, if the effective normal stress and the shear stress is at point A, meaning to say shear failure will not occur along the plane. So if the shear stress and the effective normal stress is at point A, meaning to say the shear failure will not occur along this plane. However, if the effective normal stress and the shear stress is at point B, wherein point B is within the Mohr column failure envelope, meaning to say at this point, the shear failure will occur along this plane. if our effective normal stress and shear stress is at point C, which means that at this point, since point C is above our Moore column failure criterion, the state of stress on this point cannot exist because since it is above our failure envelope. And the shear failure for this illustration, the shear failure in a soil would have occurred already. So those are how we interpret our illustration for point A, point B, and point C for the location of our effective normal stress and shear stress. So we move on now to the inclination of the plane of failure caused by the shear. So for this one, you have here our we have plotted a Moore circle and a failure envelope. So for this one, we have plotted, of course, in our previous discussion, we have plotted on a Moore circle so that we can draw the Moore circle. We have our major principal stress and the minor principal stress. Of course, we know that our major principal stress is denoted by sigma prime 1 and our minor principal stress is denoted by sigma prime 3. So for this one, if we try to draw a tangent line on this Moore circle, we have now our failure envelope. So this line that is tangent to our Moore circle is our failure envelope. And of course, the equation for this, as we have discussed, that is shear stress is equal to C prime plus sigma prime tangent phi prime. So for this one, we have here our cohesion, which is denoted by C prime. And of course, the angle of the failure plane is given by this equation. Theta is equal to 45 degrees plus phi prime all over 2. So this one, from the center, this is the center of our Moore circle, towards the point of tangency of the failure envelope, that is, has an angle of 2 theta. So if we're going to get the angle of failure plane, that is actually equal to theta is equal to 45 degrees plus phi prime all over 2. So basically,